There's game one of a two-game set here. This is Mike Brown's first game as head coach of the New York Knicks. Scary situation in the preseason early for New York here. Watch Josh Hart. He goes to the ground in pain, and as he goes to the ground, he throws the balls into the stands. He's clearly in a lot of discomfort here. He actually would be ejected from the game for throwing that ball, but of course the concern of injury is first and foremost here. But then you got Jalen Brunson picking up right where he left off with the floater. Karl-Anthony Towns tracking down that loose ball for the slam. Some big stuff there from Karl-Anthony Towns. We should mention Mitchell Robinson was that fifth starter for the Knicks in this game. A few minutes later, Mikal Bridges goes for the steal. A little reverse layup the other way. A solid opening game here for New York's core group. How about the 76ers? And really by the 76ers, we're talking about rookie VJ Edgecombe. Edgecombe cuts back door. He misses, but he's fouled. He tried to send a message to Mitchell Robinson there. We saw a whole lot of that at Baylor. Look how high he gets up. But that was really the bright spot here for the 76ers. Edgecombe showing his range. That would be the only three that the 76ers made in the first half. 1 of 20 from three in the first half. Oh, we are back, baby. Tyrese Maxey gets inside, tough up and under. Maxey finishes with 14, but it's the Knicks that win this one easily. Let's welcome in our senior writer, Brian Windhorst, who saw that show live in Abu Dhabi. Our front office insider, Bobby Marks, NBA champ Kendrick Perkins here as well. Brian, you were in the room where it happened, so I want to start with you. Your takeaway from just this one preseason game.
Well, Josh Hart leaving with injury was obviously a worrisome thing for the Knicks. They also did not have OG Anunoby in this game, who was out with a sprained hand. He's day-to-day. The Knicks said that Josh Hart didn't come back in the game because he was ejected, not because he had the injury. So we'll see how that might change over the next couple of days. Josh Hart already dealing with a finger injury that's going to bother him throughout the season. So that injury was probably the headline for the Knicks in this game. One thing I would point out, VJ Edgecombe has really impressed his 76ers teammates over the last week and a half at training camp. And he didn't shoot the ball great in this game, but he played a lot of point guard. He had 14 points. He had 6 rebounds. He is going to get a ton of minutes, and he is going to be really probably something to pay attention to, because Joel Embiid and Paul George are not ready to play yet. They were missing 5 rotation players for tonight's game, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to the final score. And by the way, the final tally, 3 of 35 three-point shooting for the 76ers. But the good news is that the heaves at the end of the halves did not count. So they have that going for them.
How do I follow that up there, Malik? I think
you take a 3.
I think for me there's 2 things. Yeah, you do. There is 2 things here, and it started with what New York did with their opening lineup. Pacom Dadier, their first-round pick, started in there, and why that's relevant is because he could be the odd man out when you look at this Knicks roster. They're going to need to clear out some money if they want to keep Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet, who they've signed in the offseason to kind of booster that bench. He certainly struggled shooting the ball 0-5 from 3. The second thing is Deuce is loose, right? Deuce McBride, 12 points coming off the bench. Certainly is going to be an important factor for New York this season as far as where that bench goes.
And you mentioned Pacom Dadier. He would have to be moved before October 18th, right, if they were going to be making that sort of move. Perk, I know it's very early in terms of Mike Brown's tenure as Knicks head coach, but I'm hearing even in the preseason, you're already spying something on this new look team.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me. Freeze! Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. Well, y'all know down in Texas, they have this saying called peak game from a player's position. And damn it, I know it's preseason, but I'm peeping things from the New York Knicks in their first preseason game. New coach, new life, new system offensively. Look at Jalen Brunson right here. Look at him outlet the ball. They're playing with pace. They were one of the slowest playing teams offensively last season. Here's the one that got me up off my couch while I was watching. Watch the rebound in here. Now look at Karl-Anthony Towns, the big fella, running up the floor, with those size 22s, getting up in transition. This is how Mike Brown wants to play. This is going to help and benefit the Knicks, getting stops, getting out and run, playing with pace. They were one of the slowest paced teams in the league last season, and you could tell Mike Brown has been emphasizing that in training camp because they hit the ground running.
Yeah, it was notable how fast they were playing even in this first preseason game. For the 76ers on the other side of all of this, there's only so much to take away knowing that there was no Embiid, no George, no Grimes, no Lowry in this game here for Philadelphia, Bobby. But if you're looking at the silver lining of this for the 76ers, what's your takeaway knowing that this is not the roster that they imagined?
Well, I mean, listen, Tyrese Maxey is going to be as good as anybody, any guard out there. I think we saw the flashes, at least in the first half here. And I know VJ Edgecombe certainly struggled here, but that backcourt is something to build off. And when they get back to the States, they'll have Quentin Grimes waiting for him, who signed that one-year qualifying offer on Wednesday to help solidify that backcourt. That won't have Jared McCain for at least the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, Malika, I think the mood around the Sixers right now is don't judge them at the moment. They're going to try to improve the players that they have, with them and active, and they're going to wait for their team to come together. They are optimistic that Joel Embiid is making progress. I'm going to be honest with you. When I heard that, I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm going to report that that's what they said. But obviously, you just got to be careful about trusting anything there. But he does look like he's in very good shape. I spoke to him yesterday. He is in good spirits. Paul George is out working out on the court in pregame and around practice. There is signs that these guys are going to come back. But if you're a Sixer fan, I could totally understand why you're saying, I got to wait and see it with my own two eyes. But yeah, they are in the Eastern Conference. They do not have to get off to a dynamite start to make the playoffs. They just have to be healthy at the right time. They are preaching patience, and they are preaching that give them time, this team will come together.
I don't think anyone wins a championship in October or November, but I don't know that people are judging the 76ers based off of what they see right now. I think it's a judgment of the culmination of what they've seen over the last season up leading into now, Perk. Am I reading that correctly?
You're right. Seeing is believing, and like Wendy said, that's what he reported. What they said, but nobody want to hear they sweet nothings. We need to see it. We want to see Paul George on the floor. We want to see Joel Embiid back on the floor, not only just healthy and in shape, but playing with the right type of mindset and showing that he wants to be there, right? He the one that went on the rant this offseason, when he sat down and did an interview. So, again, we need to see it. We don't want to hear anything from the 76ers. They need to show us.
I think that you speak for many 76ers fans here right now, Kendrick Perkins. Brian Windhorst, it is rapidly approaching midnight in Abu Dhabi. Get to bed. We appreciate around the league. Let's start with the Wolves. Anthony Edwards, he has goals in year 6.
I don't really think I'm going to be able to win Defensive Player of the Year. I got 2 of the best defenders on my team, so it's going to be hard for me to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want to take away from those guys, but as long as my impact is there every night, I should be okay. As long as I make an all-defensive team, that means something. But Defensive Player of the Year probably be hard for me, but MVP and championship, that's the goal. I can't guard one game and not guard the next game because we playing, somebody who's not up to par. I got to be ready every night, and I'm going to take pride in that. And I told my teammates to hold me accountable, coaches included.
Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and a title all in one season. Only Hakeem has done that. But, Perk, I think it's more the sentiment. You like hearing that from Ant?
I do, because guess what, Malika? He felt pain all this offseason from losing in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, losing the SGA, and then said, you know what, I know what it takes now. I have to be in the best shape, I have to add to my post game, and I have to be able to have a level of accountability to do it on both ends of the floor.
Off to the Clippers, and Ty Lue has a new strategy for James Harden.
Do you want to kind of tone down some of this usage?
We don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that. I think, we had to, but we kind of he just had to do too much for us to be successful, to try to win games, to try to stay afloat while Kawhi was out, and so we don't want James to have to do that all year. It's going to be games where he has to do that, but, I think the last 25 games of the season when Kawhi came back, I think was number 2 in offense and number 1 in defense, so we'll be able to score the basketball when everyone's healthy and things are clicking on the right cylinder,
So Harden led the Clippers with over 35 minutes a game and 79 starts here, Bobby Marks. How can they lighten the load for him in his 17th season?
How about a pair of Chris's? Chris Paul and Chris Dunn. Chris Paul, 82 games started last year in the league. Chris Dunn, 58. 6 out of the 7 games in the first-round series against Denver. Look, they've got probably the deepest backcourt in the NBA. Certainly their depth is going to be their strength this year in Los Angeles.
A pair of you.